You know those are the ones I like, where like it starts here and I can just go over there and just, you know, stay there as long as I need to, then bring it back. I don't remember the time when I used this phrase, but I know I used it. I use it quite frequently. I like to use phrases that are somewhat old-fashioned. A friend of mine, who's from a preppy part of New England, extremely well-mannered, put together, does just the right thing at just the right time, great house guest, doesn't ever have people feel uptight. She uses the phrase dust up, which I love. So Smoldering Charms is kind of like that. It's a slightly ironic term that I like to use. Like dust up. What else? I sometimes like to say privacy. I'll respect your privacy, which really isn't an American term, but it is a British term, privacy. It came from a psychotic person whose apartment I sublet with a friend. I don't know how we got into this, but we were desperate. We had nowhere to live. It was really hard to find a place to afford. We ended up living on St. Mark's Place. My roommate had relatives in Kentucky. The phone had to stay in our overtenant's name. Everything of hers stayed in the apartment as well. So she left everything in the closets, all of her furniture. She even had things in the refrigerator. It was kind of a messed up scene. And so she would call and she would say, I'm going to make up her name because she could be listening. You might be tuned in right now, mightn't you? Well, I won't use her last name. It's Claudia. She would say, hello, Claudia here. And then she would go through the phone bill. And she would say, there was a call to La Grange, Kentucky. And it was like, LaGrange? It's La Grange, Kentucky. There were 2 of them. She was kind of nuts. But when we made our arrangement with her, she said that occasionally she would check her mail and that she would tell us about the phone bill and that she would respect our privacy. So I often think about this person with whom I had a relationship that endured, well, I would say a few months, but then I saw her some years later, a good couple of chapters of life later, and she was a nanny, and she had a kind of crazed expression on her face, like the kind of person who, in a horror movie, would try to do something to the kid, or on Law and Order, would be too obviously the killer, so she'd actually be the person who ratted out the killer. I remember her much more than I do, say, oh, I don't know, what I did yesterday. I don't know how charming that is, but it's definitely smoldering in my brain.